The Central Disease Control Headquarters says the nation's daily COVID-19 tally hit a new record of 621,328 as of midnight of Thursday. It is also double the figure from a week ago. 429 more people died from the virus, bringing the death toll to 11,481. The fatality rate now stands at 0.14%. The number of critically ill patients dropped by 85 to 1,159 compared to yesterday. As of Thursday midnight, some 1.92 million patients were under self-treatment at home. Now, although the number of cases is soaring, the government is looking into relaxing the current social distancing measures due to expire this Sunday. Authorities are discussing whether to completely terminate social distancing as if we're in an endemic situation or to ease just some measures. The discussion is likely to go on until the new measures are announced tomorrow.
The government is reviewing ways to change the distancing measures due to expire on March 20th. Officials are attentively taking in advice from the Daily Restoration Support Committee and opinions of relevant ministries. The current measures limit private gatherings to 6 people and business hours to 11 p.m. A wide range of plans are discussed, from partial easing of capacity and business hour restrictions to complete removal of restrictions. Business owners believe it is discriminatory and ineffective to impose restrictions only on multi-purpose establishments like cafes and restaurants when disease control measures have been relaxed for other facilities.
시간 의미는 이제 이미 사라졌다라고 생각을 하고 있거든요. 12시 이후에 영업하는 자영업자들이 그렇게 많지 않아요. 손실보상도 충분하지 않고 거기에서 빠진 사각지대에 놓인 자영업자들도 많고요.
Still, many oppose this idea. As the medical systems in some areas are already overloaded, it will be reckless to terminate all disease control measures at the peak of the surge.
독감 수준이니까 의료 체계 정비해서 버티면 됩니다라고만 얘기를 하는데 요양병원들 환자들 이송도 못하게 만들었고 투석 환자 투석 제때 못 받아가지고 한두 번씩 투석 걸러서 받고 있거든요.
The government already announced distancing levels would be lowered dramatically, indicating that it is leaning towards lax measures. A new set of social distancing guidelines will be announced on March 18th.
As we reported yesterday, the Defense Ministry building in Yongsan is being considered a strong candidate for the new presidential office. But there are multiple hurdles ahead. The Defense Ministry building is a military facility, so moving the presidential office there would block the president's contact with the people. The relocation is also predicted to cause serious traffic congestion, while also going against the president-elect's campaign promise to move the presidential office to the government complex in Gwanghwamun.
Yoon Suk-yeol's aides say there is zero chance that the president-elect will move into Cheongwade, which houses both the presidential office and its residence.
청와대 밖으로 나오겠다고 하는 것은 국민 속으로 들어가고 소통이 중요하다는 오랜 의지 때문입니다.
Despite his determination, it is not easy to select a new site in its substitute. Instead of the Seoul government complex, which was the initial option, the Defense Ministry building in Yongsan is being considered as a strong alternative, as it has clear advantages with guaranteed tighter security and an underground bunker already available. However, it will make it difficult for the president to keep in close contact with the people. Critics also point out that being far away from the government complex in Gwanghwamun, the Defense Ministry building is no different from Cheongwade, which was often called a royal palace.
군 보안 시설에다가 경호 시설이 추가로 들어서면은 시민들의 접근이 매우 어려워져요. 소통을 원활하게 하겠다는 기본 취지에서 더 멀어지지 않을까 그런 우려가 됩니다.
If the presidential office relocates to Yongsan, one of the minister's official residences in Hannam-dong will be used as the presidential residence. But this could cause inconveniences for the general public. During the president's commute to and from work, traffic will be controlled, making the already serious congestion worse in nearby neighborhoods like Itaewon and Samgakji. Another burden is that the very meaning of Yoon becoming a Gwanghwamun president will be lost.
굉장히 그게 복잡해요. 경호 문제도 그렇고 보안 문제도 그렇고 안보 문제도 그렇고 그게 간단한 문제가 아니에요. 그러면 복수로 우리가 고민해봐야 된다.
The president-elect's team plans to make a quick decision with a goal to begin his term at the new office on May 10th. But each option has its own set of problems, deepening its trouble in selecting the new presidential office.
Prosecutor General Kim Oh-soo said that he would faithfully carry out his duty according to law and principle. Apparently, he decided to react quickly to the possibility of his early resignation.
The Prosecutor General will faithfully carry out duty strictly in accordance with the law and principle. That was part of Prosecutor General Kim Oh-soo's statement released to reporters through the Supreme Prosecutor's Office spokesperson on Wednesday. He essentially refused to accept the suggestion of resigning made the previous day by People Power Party Representative Kwon Sung-dong, President-elect Yoon Suk-yeol's close associate. Kwon criticized the Prosecutor General on a March 15th radio show, claiming that Kim hasn't properly supervised the investigation of the Seongnam land development scandal.
지금까지와 같은 행태를 반복한다면은 본인이 스스로 거취를 결정해야 된다고 저는 개인적으로 생각합니다.
The chief prosecutor was compelled to announce his decision swiftly, with many prosecutors hearing rumors of Kim's resignation. Some prosecutors believe Kim should be guaranteed his legally mandated term, while others maintain that a new government needs a new prosecutor general. Kim's term ends at the end of May next year. However, the overwhelming opinion is that there won't be any direct pressure to step down, as the president-elect has long championed the independence of the prosecutor's office. Yoon refused to step down from the top post when he was prosecutor general, claiming that his tenure is a promise made with the people.
어떤 압력이 있더라도 제가 할 소임은 다 할 생각입니다.
However, resignation pressure may come from the political circle as the prosecution investigates pending cases in the future. Only 8 out of 22 chief prosecutors completed their 2-year tenure since the term of office system was adopted for the prosecutor general.
Voice of America reports that North Korea has made significant progress in taking down a South Korea-built hotel at Mount Kumgang. Citing satellite images, VOA added the roof of Haegeumgang Hotel was removed to reveal the inside of the building. During an inspection on the now-shuttered resort in October 2019, North Korea leader Kim Jong-un ordered the complete dismantlement of the South Korea-owned facilities, calling them ugly and unsightly. North Korea on Wednesday fired what is presumed to be a new ICBM, but is believed to have exploded in midair. It's the first missile launch since South Korea's latest presidential election and the 10th missile firing this year. Washington, which always captures signs of Pyongyang's ICBM tests and issues warnings, has condemned the latest firing as well.
North Korea fired a ballistic missile at 9:30 a.m. Wednesday yet again. Launched from the Sunan area, the missile flew at an altitude of less than 20 kilometers and exploded mid-air. Pyongyang has test-fired new types of ICBMs from Sunan twice, on March 5th and February 27th. South Korea's military believes the Wednesday launch was also a test of a new ICBM.
우리 군은 추가 발사에 대비하여 관련 동향을 면밀히 추적 감시하면서 대비 태세를 유지하고 있습니다.
The exact cause of the failed launch is yet unknown, but experts suggest the missile may have exploded because of its liquid fuel leakage.
폭발했다는 얘기는 결국은 이제 거기 있는 연료하고 산화제가 세든해서 폭발했다는 얘기거든요.
North Korea is expected to fire more missiles in the near future. However, others suggest it may also take some time to identify the cause of the failed test.
기술적인 부분에 대해서 다시 한번 정밀 점검이 들어가야 되고 4월 달에 화성 17을 이용해서 북한이 주장하는 군사 정찰 위성을 쏘아 올릴지는 좀 약간 불투명해지는 가능성이 좀 큽니다.
The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command has issued a statement condemning the North's missile test and urging it to refrain from any more destabilizing acts. The South Korean military says it's considering joint military exercises using long-range bombers of the U.S. forces stationed on Guam if Pyongyang fires more ICBMs.
Bank of Korea Deputy Governor Park Jong-seok says the Fed's rate hike decision is quite a hawkish move, but has limited impacts on the financial market due to expectations for progress in Russia-Ukraine negotiations. Park made the remarks in a meeting today, adding that the U.S. rate raise was already predicted. He then added it is also necessary to closely monitor the repercussions South Korea will receive from Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Korean government has vowed support for private firms developing small launch vehicles in a bid to nurture the space industry. With demand for private sector space technologies using low Earth orbit satellites expected to surge, the government is determined to create Korea's own SpaceX.
SpaceX, an American private space exploration company led by Elon Musk. It has launched some 2,000 low Earth orbit telecommunication satellites using its own rockets. The firm also provides a satellite internet service dubbed Starlink. Some 30 corporations worldwide, including those based in the US, Japan, China, and Spain, have already established presence in the small launch vehicle market, which is predicted to grow exponentially in the coming years. By orbiting the Earth close to its surface, small launch vehicles provide more stable telecommunication networks compared to ground stations. Moreover, they can also provide cloud and precision observation services.
위성 항법이나 위성 통신이나 지구 관측 분야 이외에도 다양한 서비스를 할 수가 있는 거죠. 우주 나가는 게 어려운 게 아니라 나가서 뭘 할 건지를 고민해야 되는.
The South Korean government has also embarked on nurturing the small launch vehicle sector led by private firms. It will invest around 27.8 billion won between 2022 and 2027 in the development of two-stage small launch vehicles. The idea is to have private firms develop a small engine and combine it with the 75-ton engine developed by the Korea Aerospace Research Institute and load it all onto the Nuri space rocket to create a two-stage launch vehicle.
민간 기업들이 이 발사체 소형 엔진 개발을 시작으로 해서 최종적으로는 2단형 소형 발사체의 완전한 개발과 발사까지 가능하도록.
The global space industry is predicted to reach $1 trillion by 2040. By providing support to the private sector in the space industry, the Korean government is determined to bridge a 20-year gap in the launch vehicle technology and a 10-year gap in the satellite technology with U.S. companies.
It hasn't been easy for sexual minorities, known as LGBTIs, to use public restrooms divided into men's and women. More all-gender restrooms, which anyone can use, are being built around the world, while almost none is found in Korea. But now such a restroom has opened in a Korean university.
The sign on this restroom looks different from others. Instead of gender distinctions, the sign features pictograms to represent a sexual minority, a disabled person, and a child's guardian. Only single occupancy is allowed since there is only one toilet. This is an all-gender restroom, open to everyone regardless of their gender. This is the first such kind built in a Korean university. Until now, sexual minorities whose sexual identity and appearances were different had difficulty using gender-specific restrooms.
그 친구가 화장실을 매일매일 10시간 정도씩 학교에 오는 날은 매일 그렇게 참다 보니까 방광염이 있었고.
This restroom is for other groups of minorities as well. There's a diaper-changing table for adults with babies and a mirror that a disabled person can adjust even from a wheelchair. All gender restrooms are limited, available only in a handful of buildings, such as Building 4 Korean Confederation of Trade Unions Public Transport Unions and Diversity Korea. Some fear that such restrooms may invite sexual crime since both men and women use them, but proponents vouch for their safety.
사람이 있으면 문이 열리지 않는 구조이기 때문에 사람이 숨을 위험이 오히려 더 적기도 하고, 그리고 그 안에서도 비상벨 같은 게 언제든지 누를 수 있게 되어 있기 때문에.
Such all-gender restrooms are built in all the buildings on the grounds of Harvard, Yale, and other major university campuses, demonstrating that such restrooms are spreading fast in parts of the United States and across Europe.